Indian Army Structure and Ranks. We Indians are true patriots and take pride in the progress of our nation. We do love our armed forces too. Yet, how many of us know the structure of our armed forces, their ranks of officers and soldiers, and their responsibilities? We begin a series of videos on these here. In the first video, let's examine the structure of Indian Army and its ranks. The powerful Indian Armed Forces comprise of Indian Army, the Indian Navy, and the Indian Air Force. They all come under the Ministry of Defence. The supreme command of the armed forces rests with the President of India. It was in 1776 that British East India Company had created an earlier version of the Indian Army, based out of Calcutta. Later, in 1950, when India became a republic, the Indian Army continued with the British ranking system. There are two types of officers in Indian Armed Forces: commissioned and non-commissioned. Commissioned officers assume leadership roles in the army. They command the entire army, starting with the platoon, and progressively heads company, brigade, corps, and division. The distinguishing emblem in any army officer's uniform is called insignia. Let's see how we can recognize the ranks of officers by their insignia. A lieutenant will have two 5-pointed stars in his shoulder. A commissioned officer in the Indian Army joins the force as a lieutenant. While a captain of the Indian Army has three 5-pointed stars on his shoulder. A major has just a national emblem on the shoulder. If an officer has one 5-pointed star and national emblem, that officer is a lieutenant colonel. A colonel has two 5-pointed stars and a national emblem. Officers of the Indian Army are appointed and promoted after various courses and rigorous training, and by accessing their performance continuously. Next, we have officers with the star insignia. The first in the star rank is the brigadier, who has a single star. A brigadier has three 5-pointed stars and a national emblem on his shoulder. Next is Major General, which is a 2-star rank in the Indian Army. He has on his shoulders a star, a crossed baton, and saber. The second highest rank in the Indian Army, Lieutenant General, is a 3-star rank. On his shoulder rests a national emblem over a crossed baton and saber. The Chief of Indian Army, the General, is a 4-star rank. He has a national emblem over a 5-pointed star, both above a crossed baton and saber on his shoulder. Above the General is Field Marshal, a 5-star rank. He has on his shoulder a national emblem over a crossed baton and saber in a lotus blossom wreath. In India, this is either an honorary rank or a rank awarded during the war. In the history of India, we have had only two field marshals. The first is Field Marshal K.M. Kariyappa and the second is Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw. Entry into the Indian Army as commissioned officer is possible through admission to NDA after class 12th or through the technical entry scheme. Other options are through the Indian Military Academy, Short Service Commission, or NCC Special Entry after graduation. Details are available on the website of the Indian Army. Now, let's learn about non-commissioned officers. Sepoys or soldiers are referred to as non-commissioned officers in the army. Let's discuss their ranks from the bottom. The junior most rank in the Indian Army is the sepoy or soldier. On promotion, a soldier becomes a Lance Naik. His insignia is a single chevron below his shoulder. A Naik has a double chevron below his shoulder. Next is Havildar. This is a term taken from Persian, meaning leader or head. He has 3 chevrons below his shoulder. The army has one more group of officers called junior commissioned officers. or JCOs. They are selected and promoted from non-commissioned officers and are Class B gazetted officers. Let's look at the ranks of the junior commissioned officers. Naib Subedar has a 5-pointed star and a stripe on his shoulder. A Subedar has 2 5-pointed stars and a stripe. A Subedar Major is the topmost JCO rank. He has a national emblem and a stripe on his shoulder. JCOs are addressed even by the commissioned officers as Subedar Sahib and not by their name. Now, let's see the qualifications required for joining as a non-commissioned officer. Gentlemen who have scored 45% marks in the matriculation or class 10th and are unmarried can apply. Details about other types of entries are available on the Army website. Selection and promotion in the Indian Armed Forces are solely based on merit and never on the basis of caste, creed, or religion. This is the only government organization to do so. We have seen ranks and insignias of the Indian Army in this video. In the next video, we will discuss the structure of the Indian Army and how each rank contributes to its function.